Alright, this is Ricardo Hazel with The Shadow Leaf here with Christina L. Barr, author of The Color of God's Eyes at BEA. So Christina, please tell our readership about your book.
Well, The Color of God's Eyes is my latest release. I have 8 published books right now through Ninjas Publishing, which is my indie publishing company. But Color of God's Eyes focuses on a slave named Charlotte who was given her name when she was purchased by a woman named Lady Cohen, and she ends up growing up not knowing that she was really purchased for a specific purpose, because Lady Cohen sensed there was something special about Charlotte, and so she thought she was just kind of there to watch over the house and take care of her son John, but John's goals were to really watch her and see if she develops anything special about herself. So the two grow together in a romantic relationship, kind of a forbidden love, and her powers end up developing where she can actually teleport, and she does use this to escape slavery, and I guess that's about halfway through the book, but and then this is her origin story. The story begins off with her saying, this is my origin. It's not really a love story. It happens to involve a boy, and it goes from there. And eventually she's going to go from being the slave that escaped to kind of debating with using her powers. Should she be part of the Underground Railroad, and how's she going to help other people in need? And eventually she's going to end up in New York. And there's a lot of gang violence back in the day during that time, and there was probably the worst riots in our country's history that happened with the draft riot. So she's going to be in the center of that, and this is a series that's going to span, I think, about 3 books right now, and eventually when she develops her heroic persona, it'll go into like steampunk type style, and I'm just really excited about it.
It sounds pretty cool.
There's a big twist at the end, so I'm waiting to really hear some feedback from people to how they react, but I'm excited about how things turn out with the characters.
And where did the title come from, The Color of God's Eyes?
Well, originally it was going to be called The Nameless, because she didn't really remember her childhood. She was given the name. She doesn't have a name for really what she's called, her and her type of people, and so I thought The Nameless sounded cool, but when I googled The Nameless, there was tons of books with that title anyway, and so I wanted something that was kind of more classic, reminiscent of that era, like their eyes were watching God, and in the book there's kind of not really a discussion, but I guess there could be a discussion after reading this book about how different people use religion to also justify what they did, because there's the antagonists of the story are these religious group of zealots that believe people like her are abominations, so they have their justification of why they believe it's okay to wipe these people off the face of the earth. And then the slaves, they have these deep spiritual roots as well, and so do the people that enslave them. So it's kind of the perception of humanity and what's it mean to be human. Is it a price really too high? And there's like a line in the last chapter that I think is gonna really speak to a lot of people once they get from point A to the beginning of Charlotte's life to the end with everything that happens. So really, I thought it sounded good for the time frame, and it's really suitable once you read the book and understand it.